Hey guys, welcome to the stream. The MLB Show featuring Kyle and Pierre. Episode 2 goes right now. I am not Pierre. I'm Leon. I'm filling in for Pierre as he's called away for a work emergency. Drop a like on the video. Let us know you're here in the comments and enjoy this beat from our good friend Paco.
Let's go. Another week 2.
Another week. 10% of the season is over.
That's it.
Baseball today.
How quick it goes. Before you know it, it'll be September. The players will be right around again.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk Braves. Braves are hot. Hot. They might or may not be on the docket today.
Yeah, well, you just have to wait and see. There's a few teams that are hot.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few teams that are playing good ball right now. God, why does Washington exist?
I know Montreal fans don't like it.
Huh?
I know the Montreal fans don't like it.
Oh, I know, right? Took their team. They've spoken about the Rays possibly playing up there, right?
Yeah, but MLB wouldn't approve the half.
Yeah, because it would be a half and half situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that doesn't make no sense. I mean, why would you play half and half? Like, just commit to one. I think Vegas is gonna get a team soon.
Yeah, I think Utah wants a team badly.
Yeah, they was talking about Tennessee, I believe.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they let Montreal. I mean, at that point, I think the MLB owned the Expos.
Yeah.
But they let them do half and half in Puerto Rico, right?
Yeah, that's true. I remember they used to play some games in PR. Yep. Yeah. But I don't think it was half though.
No, it was like probably 30, 40 games.
Yeah, it was probably 30 games or something. Probably even less than that. They would literally want 81 games there. Not even, it'll be 41, and then the 81 on the road.
I don't understand how you would ever attract any type of free agent though.
No, yeah, because there's no stability of living. Like, you can't buy a house in one city. You can't buy a house in the other city because you're never going to be fully there throughout the year. So you would just literally have to rent 2 different apartments, if that, whatever. That'll be style. The Cardinals suck.
The Cardinals look good against Blue Jays. We open the season against y'all.
I don't know what's wrong with the Cardinals, man.
Yeah, you guys have Gold Glovers, all main field.
I think they're missing Yachty, man.
Yeah,
Yachty, that leadership. That's hard to replace.
Yeah. Contreras is not a bad.
No, he's not. He's not. He's definitely a good, but he's not Yachty.
Yeah.
Especially being able to control the staff, the pitching staff from that aspect. Because Yachty in his last couple of years wasn't, he was never a significantly great hitter. He was always the guy that controlled the staff, phenomenal defender, Gold Glover.
On him. Yeah.
But they missed that because that's one weakness with Contreras. He's not a super great, the metrics they say he's a good framer and shut the fuck up, man. Nobody fuck your analytics.
All right, let's get this intro started. We got a new intro, people. Hope you enjoy.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Hiring the first black player, Warren Robinson, he will be held to the high.
Fastball is a high drive into deep left center field. Buckner goes back to the fence. It is gone.
Back to full. Red Sox fans have longed to hear it. The Bronx, the Cubs win the World Series.
Hey guys, welcome to the Vault. We're back with some more exclusive content. MLB Show episode 2 goes right now, normally featuring Kyle and Pierre. I, of course, am Leon, filling in for Pierre today. Hope you guys enjoy this episode. Kyle, take it away.
Yes, Leon. Thank you for filling in as always. Pierre, you missed for this episode, but we'll keep the show moving on. Week 2, obviously, of the MLB show.
Mhm.
A lot of things went down this week. Obviously, Jackie Robinson weekend, which was Saturday the 15th. Obviously a great day for baseball, great all around day for it's more than just baseball, obviously, but it's a great day for MLB and how they, they have tribute to Jackie Robinson for that day with all the players, wearing his 42 number, and it's just a great day overall. Obviously a few things went on during the week. Tampa Bay finally lost.
Yep.
Your Blue Jays took them down.
Yeah, they're still undefeated in America, though. I heard.
Oh, who the Rays?
The Rays, yeah.
They still have yet to lose a game in America. So you guys beat them what? 2 out of 3? 2 out of 3?
2 out of 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So took the series from them.
Yeah. McClanahan took the last game. He is a good pitcher.
Yeah, he's really good. How's your Blue Jays doing so far?
Hot and cold. So I think we're second in the league in terms of games where we've let the opponent score 9 runs or more.
Okay.
So we have 6 times we've given up 9 runs.
Oof.
We've having them win 2 of those games somehow miraculously. And we have some of the hottest hitters in baseball. So top of the lineup's doing well, bottom of the lineup's doing well, defense is looking okay.
Yeah. I know Manoah's kind of been struggling for you guys, right? As of late.
Yeah, he's not. It looks like his mechanics are out of whack.
Yeah,
pitch clock might be an issue. I think a lot of pitchers now are fidgeting now because now you don't have as much time to shake off your catcher.
Yeah, exactly. But I've seen a lot of guys use like loopholes from games I've seen recently when the timer is going down to like 0 almost. I noticed the catcher will call time a lot, so it'll just like restart the clock.
Yeah.
So I've noticed that they're they're gonna find ways to not obviously defeat the timer, but ways like that where you could just call time where you probably stuttered and you don't know what you're doing, or you didn't get the proper sign from the the sign. So
I noticed one that they've been doing. If the pitcher's starting to get tired, the back catcher will do a back pick.
Yeah.
So that would give the pitcher on the side just holding his shorts like,
yeah, right.
But yeah,
yeah, no, they'll find a way. They'll find a way for sure. So that's good for your Blue Jays.
How the Yankees doing?
The Yankees, they're trying. They listen. I don't understand. Injuries, a lot of injuries, man. We're missing our center fielder. Stanton just got hurt again. It never fails with him. It's an every year occurrence. He's gonna be in the DL. We're 10-6 right now, so we're staying afloat. Cole's pitching great, obviously, but ups and downs. Luckily, it's early in the season. You rather get these injuries early, and hopefully throughout the season you get healthier and you finish off the season healthy. So I'm hoping that this is just a sign that something that's happening early. So we'll see what happens from there.
Okay. Cool.
So let's get into it, man. MLB standings.
Yeah, let me get it.
The MLB standings have there's still teams that are staying at the top. Tampa Bay, we'll see it here. Still got the Rays, 14-3. Yankees 10-6. The Blue Jays 10-7. Sorry. Minnesota surprising me. I seen they played the Yankees over the weekend. They actually don't have a bad team not that I thought they would have a bad team, but they have a pretty good team. They have a pretty good pitching staff as well.
Correa returning is a little bit of stability. It was kind of a funny situation with him coming in and coming out.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a couple games in there that they made you guys look bad. I think 11-1.
Oh yeah, the first game, the Friday night game. Oh my God, they scored 9 in the first.
Yeah.
They right off the back, the game was. I just switched channels. I started watching the basketball game. Oh, something not even the basketball games. The basketball didn't start till Saturday. I just stopped watching because it was over literally at the start. Imagine the people that went and spent money on that game. And as soon as they walk into the stadium, it's over. But no, they have a pretty. They've always had good talent. Buxton, Correa. They have Sonny Gray, who's pitching great for them. They got the trade Pablo Lopez from the Marlins. He's pitching really good for them. So
Yeah.
Good team. Texas, man. DeGrom, is he hurt again? Did you see yesterday he got taken out the game?
They pulled him. He had a no-hitter through 4.
Yeah.
They pulled him. I mean, they want to be safe. They put together a nice little team. I mean, they spent like $500 million between Simeon, Seager, and DeGrom. I mean, ideally, you don't want the core of your team being, I guess, like mid-30s or early 30s. But, I mean, if you're not developing those type of players, then you have to sign them. What else can you really do? But
no, you'd rather be safe than, especially with the history that DeGrom has and injuries. You'd rather be safe than sorry. Like you said, it's early. You don't want to risk anything.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something that, if it's just something minor, you take him out now, get it ready, get it healed up, and you go from there. So that's pretty. Texas at the top of the division. That's a good sign for them. Obviously, they've been trying to get pieces to win. So far, so good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Houston, I think Houston will be all right. They'll get back once Altuve comes back, and they're the champs. So you can't count them out until they're out of it.
Yeah, like the Blue Jays have them early. They're playing them right now. I was thinking, like, yeah, I like playing them early in the year. Maybe they seem a little injured.
Mm-hmm.
Altuve's got a broken thumb.
Mm-hmm.
There's got a bunch of guys that I've never even heard of. And then they smoked Kevin Gausman yesterday. So, and it seemed like most of the people that did all the damage was players I didn't even heard of.
Yeah, no, they have a lot of guys that you don't, like you said, you haven't heard of them. I mean, the only guys there that literally that is Alvarez, Bregman,
and Tucker.
Yeah, you have Jeremy Pena there still, obviously. Jose Abreu is looking like a horrible signing for them. Obviously it's early, but he's off to a horrible start for them, and they gave him big money.
Yeah.
So hopefully for their sake, it doesn't come back to bite them. Because remember, he's a bit of an older guy already, as it was. I think he's like 35 already.
35, 36.
Yeah, 36
he came in
around
the year
there.
as a rookie, I think 29. 30.
Yeah, so he's a bit up in age. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know if it was the smartest thing to give him a 3-year deal, but given his history, his track record, maybe he'll bounce back. So we'll just have to wait and see. I think they'll be okay though at the end of the day once they get their guys back. I think losing Verlander obviously hurts their pitching staff, but they should be okay though. We'll see. It's like you said, it's early.
It's interesting. They don't run a lefty in their whole bullpen.
No,
I think they maybe got like one lefty.
Framber Valdez is their starter. Yeah, he's the only starter that's a lefty.
Righty.
Yep, so they're righty heavy.
That's interesting. I mean, now with the league rules with the three batter minimum, you don't necessarily need a lefty all the time.
Exactly.
There's no like real specialty lefties, but like to not have a lefty in your bullpen,
that's
got to be unique, right?
Yeah, like the Graham Lloyds and the Mike Stantons back from the Yankees in the 90s.
Yeah,
no, because you said it's perfect where you have to face 3 minimum of hitters regardless. Mm-hmm. So you can't really do the whole, lefty, righty, lefty, lefty. You can't do it anymore. So now if you look, a lot more teams are trying to get, because the league is right-handed heavy overall.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get a lot more righties that are able to, to deal with left-handed bats. If you notice that throughout the league, a lot of relievers that are coming into these games now, they're pretty good against either righties or lefties, because you kind of need to because of the rule now. You can't just have him pitch to one hitter and take him out and go on to the next.
Yeah. You almost have you're almost looking for that righty with reverse splits now. It's like does he throw a change up? Does he throw like a good slider,
a good sinker?
Yeah.
So that's that's how the league is just trending right now. So that's the American League and the National League, man. Atlanta, man. I think we've always kind of knew. Obviously, they won the championship 2 years ago. Was it?
Mm-hmm.
No. 2019, right?
No, they won
2021. I'm losing it. I'm losing it. I'm thinking of Washington. The Braves, obviously, they're a great team, man. Acuna's back and healthy. Albies is back and he's healthy. They're just a well-rounded. Austin Riley is incredible. I mean, they just top to bottom their lineup. Their pitching staff is a little bit, questionable. Freed got hurt earlier this year. I think he recently came back, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. But the Braves, man, they just keep on chugging 7 in a row.
The crazy thing about them is like their core is locked up for like the next 7 years, and then their next guys up are looking really good. So You got Harris, you got Grissom,
Yeah.
you got all these kids, and they're not going to have to go out and spend because everyone's locked up till
Yeah, I mean,
like for
because
most of their prime.
Acuna's locked up, Albies is locked up for bargain deals too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the benefit though, right? Like when you get these guys at a young age and you think that they're gonna be the guys that that you got them there, you give them the contract early because you're not gonna have to pay much for them.
Yeah.
So I think like Acuna's first or second year into the league, they gave him a deal which was like for 8 years for like $90 million or something like that.
Yeah. The good thing is too is like you're gonna have to avoid you don't like if you know the player's good, you're also taking on a risk by giving them a long contract.
Absolutely.
But you're not gonna have to go back and forth with them. You're not gonna have to fight with them for arbitration.
Exactly.
Like there's a lot of damage that happens when a team, your employer, it goes to an arbiter and was like, okay, well, this is the reason why we don't want to pay you. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to hear. Sometimes there's some detriment that happens.
For sure.
If you can buy out a couple of those years and maybe even sneak out a year for agency or two, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
It's always been the Braves, though, man. They've always gotten young talent. Their organization, as from the bottom up, their scouting, their scouting department, they know what they're doing there, man. Because you always see every year, the Braves, they always have these young guys that come up and they just jump on the scene and they're able to produce right away.
Yeah. And they're also not afraid to let you walk. So Dansby Swanson, Freddie Freeman.
Exactly. If you're out there, out the range and what they're willing to give you money wise, they'll move on to the next. Like you said, they let Swanson go, they let Freddie Freeman go. I mean, they let these guys go, and it's just like on to the next.
Mm-hmm. Milwaukee's still staying up top, man. I really thought that they were going to be a team looking to sell. I mean, we saw them move a couple pieces last year with Josh Hader going out. I was just waiting. I was like, if they make Corbin Barnes available, like, man, that guy could really fetch like a good return. Yelich's contract looks terrible, but they're still doing it. They got some good young kids too. Garrett Mitchell's there.
I think, like you mentioned with Corbin Burns, they try to get a contract done with him into this offseason, and I think he rejected it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
He's a great pitcher. Yelich, if they can get Yelich back to somewhat of his MVP form with the other pieces that they have with Rowdy Tellez, he's having a pretty good year so far. Willie Adames, they have the staff pitching wise. They definitely have the pitching staff.
Yeah, Freddie Peralta, Woodworth,
Burns. It's gonna be their offense. We're gonna see if that can elevate. And that division too, man. I'm surprised the Cardinals are doing so bad. We've mentioned this before. I think losing Yadier Molina is a big factor in that. Yeah. His leadership, his know-how, his just overall him being there. Obviously, they have Arenado, they have and Goldschmidt. They got some good young guys. They brought up the guy Jordan Walker. He's been pretty good to start his career so far. But it's interesting. I didn't see them being 7-10 at this point.
Yeah, they still have time to figure it out. I think one big thing that just shows you how fickle the league is. Ryan Helsley was like unhittable last year. He really had a coming out party. He looked amazing in the All-Star game, and this year he's already blown a couple saves for them. Yeah,
so, that guy throws gas too.
Yeah. It just shows you how fickle it is for relievers year to year. I don't know. So maybe their rotation is terrible, but they have some studs on the positions. Your corners are locked up with Arenado and Goldschmidt. You know what you're going to get. Gold Glovers everywhere, and then they also have potential prospects, impact prospects, either on the team with Jordan Walker and then even coming up, waiting to come up in the wings. They always got players, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. The Cardinals are another organization that they bring up these young guys, and they're good. They're good. But you mentioned their reliever, especially Hensley. It's we take for granted. It's old, but guys like Mariano, how every year he was just able to produce every year in, year out. And it's right. Most relievers, they'll have a good solid year. They'll have a good all-star year. And the following year, they'll just fall off the face of the earth. It's like so up and down with relievers in the game today.
Yeah. And you see it with the contract disparity. Like very rarely will these relievers ever like make the full potential. That's why
Exactly.
like Chapman staying a reliever was like a big deal back in the day because he's like
Yeah.
he was actually one to close games where he could have made a lot more money if he stayed a starter.
Exactly. No, for sure. So it's going to be interesting what happens at that division. In the West, listen, I think that San Diego's to lose. I know they're not playing good ball right now.
Mhm.
But overall, I think the Dodgers took a step back. They lost some pieces this offseason.
Yeah.
The Diamondbacks have a pretty good, solid staff, but I don't know if their offense is going to be able to, pick up and keep it throughout the whole season. They got some good, some good guys, but I think their staff is really helping them right now. But I think that San Diego's to lose, man. I think San Diego will come back and take that one.
Yeah, they're obviously gonna get a bump with Fernando coming back.
Yeah, he comes back, I think, like this weekend.
It'll be interesting to see where they play him. I think the plan is to play him in the outfield. They don't really have no choice with Bogarts there.
Yeah, no, they have to. They have no choice because they have Bogarts at short, obviously Manny at third. They have Cronenworth. They have I forgot the guy's name, and I don't want to botch it, but I believe is a Japanese kid. He's playing second.
Kim,
there we go, Kim.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing second. So yeah, no, they're gonna have no choice but to put him in the outfield. I think he's good. I think from what I've heard, they're probably gonna try him out in right because I know in spring training he played a lot of right field. So I think that's where they're gonna put him at and see if it works. And he's an athlete. He's a shortstop. So I think he should be able to, hold. I'm not saying he's gonna be a great right fielder, but I think he should be able to possibly hold his own out there. Obviously, if his offense is what it was prior to the suspension, he's going to help them,
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But we'll see, man. We'll see. That's going to be – I think it's going to come down to the Dodgers and San Diego at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think that's the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
The Dodgers look like as you mentioned, they took a step back. I think they're trying to really reset their luxury tax bill.
Yeah. No,
for a long time they were spending. And as you accrue more and more time over that
tax dollars going up and up and up and up.
Well, eventually they start taking picks. So that's when
if it gets to the point where if it's too much. So and plus, you know what they're going for.
Yeah,
they're going for that boy down the road from them.
Think so, Ohtani?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's what they're doing all of this for too. They're going for him. Absolutely.
I mean, it wouldn't take much to move.
Right?
You can keep where you're living.
Yeah, Anaheim's only an hour away.
Yeah. Send the helicopter for anything.
Exactly.
I mean, whoever gets him is gonna be like an all-time get. Like that's got to be the biggest.
Oh yeah, fish
ever, right?
Yeah, it has to be with what he's able to do on both sides of the ball. I mean, not both sides of the ball, both sides from offensive standpoint and then a pitching standpoint. Definitely, that's gonna be the piece. But we'll talk about that obviously as the year goes on.
Yeah,
we would definitely talk more about all of that.
Going back to San Diego real quick, do you think to re-sign Soto they have to get rid of Tatis's contract? I mean, they've handed out money.
I don't think they're going to re-sign Soto.
You don't think so? You think they let Soto go?
I think Soto messed his own self up. Honestly, listen. No, not even by going to San Diego because he didn't have a choice, honestly, right? Because he got traded there. But I think what hurt him, Soto's value has kind of dipped a little bit. If you just look at his numbers, I'm not even talking about as a player. He's still a great player. But if you just look at his numbers, the contract Washington offered him, maybe he just didn't want to be in Washington, obviously. But they offered him a 15-year deal for $440 million. Which is when you max that out is about what, $30 million a year or something like that. But what I think hurt him, I don't think he's gonna get what he thought he was gonna get a few years ago, like when he becomes a free agent. I don't think anybody's gonna get him $400 million. Personally, this is my opinion.
It all depends on where the contracts and the streaming rights and if there's a bigger revenue share and stuff like that. Those are always like little things that could affect what a team will be willing to give. Yeah. But I mean, he's only 20.
Yeah, he's only what, 24, 25, 24, I think.
Yeah. He'll be under 26 by the time he's a free agent. You're getting his prime years.
No, absolutely. No, he's going to get paid. I think there's no doubt about it. I just think he might have mismanaged how much he's going to get paid. because
Yeah.
I could be absolutely wrong about this,
Yeah.
but I don't think he's gonna get how people was talking about it a few years ago, 450 million, 500. I mean, then those were numbers that were out there.
Yeah.
But
I
like
mean,
you said, with the revenue, with TV money, he can possibly still get that with everything going up.
yeah. It's just I'm looking around at their team, right? So Xander's getting paid, Bain's getting paid, Cronenworth got re-signed, Tatis is paid, Darvish is paid. Like so many guys are paid there.
Hey, yeah. And at the end of the day,
Adding
San
that-
Diego's a small market.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to afford that for that, which I get it. I think San Diego's more in it to win it now. Like they're trying to go for it now, and they'll deal with whatever ramifications
Yeah.
come later, as far as financially, I think if they could win a championship, they'll be fine with whatever they spend. Because I could see this in a few years, they can possibly start trading some of these guys, possibly. I can see it.
They might have to. There's only so many spots.
Exactly. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll definitely be interesting.
All right. So moving forward.
So moving on, the rankings. Obviously, we spoke about the standings and how the season so far up to this date is. These are the power rankings for the second week of the season. And right at the top, the Atlanta Braves, man. Obviously, they had a great week. They've been playing great ball. 7 wins in a row. 7-3 in their last 10. The Rays, you got the Blue Jays, Yanks, Houston, Brewers, Dodgers, Twins, Mets, and Padres rounding out the top 10. What do you think, Leon? I mean, how do you feel about it? I mean, it's just a power rankings, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's nothing.
Yeah.
But what do you think?
I mean, it's cool to see the Blue Jays that high. I don't know what they were ranked last week, but I mean, maybe beating Tampa twice.
Yeah.
Escalated their number. I've watched almost every single game this year.
Mm-hmm.
The pitching's been shoddy, but I mean, they're hitting the ball. So I mean, the rules are in favor, are favoring more offense.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
I mean that you got to take everything with a grain of salt, but it's good to see the Blue Jays so high. It's interesting to see Milwaukee there. I mean, but looking at their run differential and their where they are in the standings, I mean, it makes sense to see them that high. But I think that's definitely the like the biggest surprise to be Milwaukee.
Yeah. No, I can definitely see Milwaukee, being 6 and, obviously a great start to their season so far. I think the Mets should probably be a little bit high on the list.
Mm-hmm.
They've been playing great ball as of late. I think they won like 6 in a row or 5 in a row as of today. I think they play later on tonight. So they won 5 in a row, 8-2 in their last 10.
And Verlander hasn't even started for
them. Verlander hasn't even pitched for them. Scherzer had a bounce back start his last game. What's the thing with the Mets that I've watched, because obviously living here in New York, I'm a Yankee fan, but I watch if the Mets are on, I'll watch it because I'm just a baseball fan in general. Their offense is not it's not a strong offense at all. Offensively, I mean, they have Francisco Lindor and Pete Alonso, who are kind of the staples in their lineup. But if you look up and down their lineup, that's their one deficiency is their offense. I think Scherzer, he'll be fine at the end of the day. Verlander coming back, I think he'll be okay. Losing Edwin Diaz kills them. I mean, that just kills them from the bullpen standpoint. That he was a lockdown, shutdown closer. All-star last year, got paid this offseason. But like you said, Leon, start relievers, you never know from a year-to-year basis how they go.
You never know.
So automatically, people were assuming he was going to have another dominant year. You just don't know he was. It wasn't set in stone because just the history of relievers. They don't tend to have these consecutive seasons of just dominant seasons. You don't see it happen often.
Exactly.
So, I mean, obviously, but it's still a loss. It's still a big loss. But I still think it's going to be them and the Braves fighting out for that division. I give the Braves the upper hand because I just think they have the better team. Mm-hmm. But no, it's interesting to see the Twins as well. I mean, I didn't think the Twins would be here so far.
Interesting thing with the Mets too is like we saw them sign Correa for like 10 days.
Yeah.
And it ended up not working out, but they never really took that money and reinvested into getting something else. Because I mean, at that point in free agency,
it was pretty much over at that point. I mean, to get anybody of significance, but if you listen, the thing with Correa, I know the history. You know, they said that his ankle wasn't. It was two different teams that said his ankle wasn't going to be able to hold up, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Giants obviously signed them first or came to an agreement, and then after all the stuff happened, they declined that. They moved forward with some other people. Then the Mets obviously came to an agreement with him as well. But I just find it hard that, listen, is a possibility his ankle might give out this year. Who knows? But according to Correa, he said he's never missed a game because of his ankle.
Yeah.
He said that's never been an issue. Since injuring that foot and having the surgery in it, he's never missed any games because of it. And if I'm the Mets, honestly, I would have still signed him to something similar to what the Twins gave him.
Yeah.
Because you know the production you're going to get from him right now. And from the Mets standpoint, I believe that, I mean, it's been over 30 years that they're trying to win a championship, almost 40. So I would have rather have taken let's just say the next 2 to 3 years of premium Carlos Correa, as opposed to having to have Eduardo Escobar at third base or the rookie they just brought up in Beatty. You know what you're going to get from Correa, you know, given if he's healthy. But like he said, he's never had to deal with that injury as part of missing any games throughout his career. So, you know, I guess it was a safe thing because you never know. They said he could have been done after this year if he hurts the ankle again. But listen, their owner's filthy rich. Filthy rich, the richest owner in sports, I think. Hey, just give him the money if you're trying to win, right? That's how I look at it. Yeah. But that's probably why I don't own a team.
No, yeah, for sure. No, you're right though. He has looked really good right now for Minnesota. The ankle doesn't seem to be a problem. I mean,
yeah.
Just the other day, he almost single-handedly won that game against the Yankees. He hit a home run, and every shot was hit to him. It seemed like he was
defensively. He's great defensively. Yeah. I mean, he's been there. He's got a championship. He's a veteran, and at the end of the day, he's a threat. Regardless, you have to respect him. You know what I'm saying? He's not just another guy.
Mm-hmm.
You have to respect him just as a player. You know, you can't just, oh, that's just Correa. Okay, whatever. No, you got to deal with him. So that's what the thing with the Mets. I don't think they overall improved necessarily from last year to this year. They kind of brought back the same team, which obviously they won 100 games last year. But it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think these are going to be teams in this top 10 so far for this week. I think these are going to be teams that are going to be, you know, consistently in the top 10 throughout the season, because these are all great teams, good to great teams on this, you know, on this top 10 here so far.
You see any teams here that you think are missing from the list?
I would probably say maybe Texas, maybe. Okay. They've been playing pretty good as of late. Probably Texas, maybe Chicago. They've been kind of playing good as of late, because this is almost like a weekly basis of a power ranking.
Yeah.
So obviously it changes weekly, but I mean, those will probably be the only teams. I think Houston being 5 is a little bit too high for them. Yeah. They're under 500 right now.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably too high being 5. I mean, Milwaukee, the Twins, and the Mets have been playing better ball than Houston. So, but yeah, other than that, I mean, it's probably maybe just a handful of teams that you could probably say for this week.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe should have been there, but overall, it's not, you know, it's nothing egregious.
Yeah. I know their record doesn't indicate it, but eventually we might have to keep an eye on maybe Seattle.
Yeah.
Eventually they got a really good lineup over there.
Cleveland, I think Cleveland will bounce back throughout the season. They have a pretty good pitching staff. They got a good lineup. They're not like physically imposing as far as offense, but they just have good hitters up and down their lineup. Ramirez, who's a MVP candidate every year. Steven Kwan, Jimenez.
Yeah.
I mean, they got an overall solid lineup. So I think we'll be seeing
the Naylor brothers.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be seeing them a lot more on this list as the season, you know, continues.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move to the next topic.
So for this one, who's hot, who's not? Obviously, we'll speak about a little bit about who's hot throughout the league, and through whether it's pitching, whether it's offense. I mean, you can see here for yourself. Luis Ariz from Miami is just batting a whopping 455. I mean, he was the batting champ last year with Minnesota, and Minnesota traded him for Pablo Lopez.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this was a trade that worked out for both of them because Minnesota needed some pitching, and he's been pitching pretty good for them. Luis Ariz is helping the Marlins because he's just a hit machine.
Yeah.
What do you think, though?
Multiple position eligibility too.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a guy that I was eyeing. Left-handed bat.
Mm-hmm.
Like he would have fit really nice in a 2-hole for the Toronto. But yeah, unfortunately he had to go to Miami. But he's a great player, man. He could play second base, I think third base and first.
He plays for exactly.
Yeah, great.
No, yeah, I've seen like his approach at the plate is just it's so old school from the standpoint of hitting, where he's up there, he chokes up a little bit on the bat.
Mm-hmm.
He's just going up there like his intent is to get hits. Like he's not up there swinging for the fences, and it's cool to see that that guys like him are still around. Listen, he obviously it works because he's batting 455 off of last year's batting champ. So he's a great hitter, man. A really great hitter.
Yeah, taking a look at, are we surprised? Patrick Wisdom is the home run leader.
Patrick Wisdom for the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah,
wasn't last year his first year, if I'm not mistaken?
Mm-hmm.
Last year he got called up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at his average, though, I believe he's batting like 288.
Okay.
So, which is not. I know it sounds like that's actually a good average. That's not a bad average. There's guys that are hitting less than that. But no, Wisdom, he's obviously helping the Cubs right now. They're 9-6. He's another young piece that they brought up last year. Obviously, after they traded away that championship core that they had with Bryant and Baez and Rizzo, yeah, and Hayward left as well, even though he wasn't brought up with the Cubs, but he was on that team. Boy, did they get off a little bit off topic, but Javi Baez is horrible.
That game he got pulled against the Blue Jays for
God,
for a lollygagging and then not knowing how many ounces.
That might be one of the worst signings in the history of. I mean, he's really bad.
I think they signed him with the intention of trying to maybe get Correa over there. I mean, there's the AJ Hinch. There's the AJ Hinch connection. He's the manager there now, former manager of the Astros. But yeah, that's looking like a terrible contract. He's got like 5-6 years left. Over $100 million.
Yeah, it's crazy. But no, he's a good young player for the Cubs. Pete Alonso, man, he keeps hitting homers. That's what he does. The polar bear.
Mm-hmm.
Devers, obviously another great offensive player. Muncy.
Mountcastle.
I'm not shocked, but Acuna, man, I want to go to Acuna real quick.
Okay.
Because that's who I was gonna bring up in the who's hot, who's not. He's incredible.
It's good to see him healthy, man. Last year, it was a comeback year for him. He didn't have the best season, and then there was talk that he was going to skip the World Baseball Classic. I know Miggy and a couple other Venezuelans got on him for that because he was not going to play, but he was playing winter ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, good to see him, man, because like that kind of swag, that's what the game needs, man. Like that young talent. He just looks like he's having so much fun while playing baseball, man. Like he's one of those guys you gotta like, even if he's not on your team. He's one of those guys you cheer for, man. He's got the flashy equipment with the yellow guards and everything. But yeah, no, it's good to see him up there.
He's the type of he's the type of player the game needs, honestly. Because it bring. Listen, I get it. Some people aren't for the antics, and it's just not their thing, right? I get it, But I always go back to it. If you want to bring in the younger generation to the game, you want to get eyes to the game, you need to have players like him. And it's not. I think it's fine as long as it's not showing anybody up. Yeah. And from the looks of it, the way he plays it's not showing anybody up. It's just the passion he has for the game. Yeah. Obviously, he does his little LeBron stuff every now and then after a home run. But he's just a great 5'2" player, man.
Yeah, he's got
It's for
speed, power,
power.
defense, everything. Man.
It's for
Why would you
average.
want him on your team if you had a chance to get him? You telling me you wouldn't want someone like that hitting in the middle of your lineup?
Oh, come on, man. You absolutely, man. You definitely want him in your lineup. Anybody will take him. The stuff he can do offensively, defensively, he can steal bases. He's got a good head on his shoulders as far as like, he doesn't seem like a guy that's going to get into any type of trouble. I mean, you can't go wrong with him, man. And it's good, like you said, it's good to see him back healthy because we all knew what he was capable of and what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're kind of, we're seeing it. Not that it was never there, but with the injury and like you said, coming in, he struggled a bit last year. And now we're kind of seeing it all come back together again.
Yeah.
So
and with Freeman gone, it's like his team now.
It's his team, exactly.
It's his team now.
It's his now. So that's a good sign for them. Chapman just keeps on doing his thing.
Yeah.
Walkier, so he's trying to have a bang out season. He's trying to get that bag. So
man, those Scott Boras clients, man. Does he give them like some special vitamins or something?
I don't know what he does, but I know he ain't. He's not. I know he's not signing nothing before he gets to free agency.
No. That's
He's definitely waiting, and he's going. He's going in.
Yeah, he parked one yesterday. He parked one today. I mean, Gold Glove caliber defense. Yeah, I've never seen him hit like this before though.
Yeah,
I've watched him steadily. High strikeout rate, low average. Right now, he's barreling everything. He's going the other way. Yeah, it's scary because between him, Bichette, and Vladdy, and a healthy Springer, that's going to cause a lot of problems for a lot of people. So,
yeah,
a little righty heavy at the top of the lineup, but we got Varsho to kind of balance it out. But,
yeah.
Matt Chapman is headed to a big payday, man.
Yeah, for sure. I obviously see some pitchers that are having a great start to their seasons as well. Garrett Cole is off to a phenomenal start. The pitcher the Yankees signed 3-4 years ago. This is what they expect. I don't think you expect this on an every game basis because it doesn't happen. But so far, so good for him. McClanahan as well for Tampa Bay is another stud that's just out there dealing for them, and he's going to be big because they just lost one of their pitchers to Tommy John Springs, so he's going to definitely be big for them. They're still waiting on Glass now to return, who's also dealt with some arm injuries. So even McClanahan last year, he kind of dealt with an arm injury at the end of the season. So hopefully he'll be okay for their sake,
Yeah. What's crazy too? We see right there, Joe Ryan, 3 wins. He's also a Tampa Bay product. He's obviously on Minnesota now, but just the amount of talent that they're able to either unearth or take from other teams and turn them into something.
No, that's just Tampa Bay. We've spoken about this in the past. Tampa Bay, their scouting department, they're everything when it comes to scouting for them and development. They know exactly what they're doing down there because you see it time and time again. Like you said, whether it's through a trade where they get guys that underachieved on other teams and they come over to Tampa Bay and they just turn them into, really good to great pitchers. It's just how Tampa Bay does it, man. They just continue to do it. They really do.
It's interesting. We see Luis Castillo there in Seattle. That'd be interesting. Last year the Yankees ended up not wanting to give up the prospect capital.
Yeah.
With maybe a Volpe or a Jason Dominguez and getting Frankie Montas instead.
Yeah.
Imagine Luis Castillo with that 0.73 ERA dealing for the pinstrips. That's a scary proposition, but kind of glad he landed in Seattle.
Yeah.
As opposed to my rival Yankees, but that's one of those things.
You know what pisses me off about all these teams and how they operate? How to take more from the Yankees than anybody else. Like that when they were asking, when there were discussions of trying to get Luis Castillo, they wanted our 4 top prospects.
Yeah.
They wanted Dominguez, Volpe, Peraza, and a pitcher. I forgot the pitcher's name.
Yeah.
We ended up trading him to Oakland, I believe, for Montas, which that's a fail too. But then they went and traded him to Seattle and didn't get their 4 top prospects. Like, what is it with trying to shit on the Yankees and get their best prospects, which I'm one. I'm not gonna lie. I am one personally. I would rather trade the prospects and get the established player because prospects are just prospects. Most prospects don't turn out to be what you expect them to be. If you just look at the history of baseball, all these highly touted prospects that are in organizations, rarely, if ever, not I shouldn't say if ever, but rarely, like through the highly touted prospects, become those guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you just look at it, they don't. Like, so I'm always one that if I'm willing to get a guy that's established already, I'll give up the prospects personally. But that's just me. That's just how I think about it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you got to look at the return, right? If Jason Dominguez is half as good as who they say he is, and Volpe's,
oh no, of course, stuff, yeah, definitely.
You never know, right? But yeah, I'm with you, man. Like a lot of times, like there's a saying, right? Flags fly forever, and like the championship banners, last way longer than
exactly
any of the prospects. But yeah, it is interesting that they ended up only. I think they only got like Noel V. Marte, which is a pretty good prospect, but he's not.
He wasn't even their best prospect.
Yeah.
So, but that it is what it is, though. We'll see. But he's off to a great start so far, which we knew. I mean, he's a great pitcher, so we knew he would have a great year for them. So hopefully they'll bounce back because they're on the 500 right now. But it's definitely not because of him.
Yeah. Any other surprises you see here?
No, I mean just Alvarez up to Alvarez things again.
Oh,
I mean, 20 RBIs already, leading the league. Jordan Romano, you closed to 6 saves, pretty good. No, I mean I'm not shocked by anything else here, honestly. Bogarts, Bichette, Acuna Jr. and hits, but probably it though. Most of these other guys, Mountcastle 20, that's probably a little bit shocking. Mountcastle leading the league at the moment with 20 RBIs on Baltimore, but other than that, no, this is pretty standard for what guys that belong in these in the leaderboards at these positions.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how Bryson Stott plays out. I mean, he's in that Philly lineup. He was a rookie last year, and seeing how much he can absorb. Like he's around some great hitters.
Yeah, so, and Bryce Harper should be coming back soon.
Yeah,
or is he back already? No, right?
No.
He should be back soon though.
Yeah, I think May they're targeting.
Yeah, okay.
May, June. I mean, he had Tommy John, right?
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Stolen bases are definitely up this year.
Oh yeah,
definitely up. Obviously, with the new rules that we spoke about. It's gonna be there's a lot of you're gonna see a few guys this year, probably 30-40 stolen bases this year. So it's good. It's good for the game, man. More action, more. I enjoy it, man. I definitely enjoy it.
Yeah. All right. Let's move forward to the players of the week.
Players of the week. So the first player of the week is Garrett Cole from the New York Yankees. Had a great week, man. 2-0, 16 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 13 strikeouts, and he pitched a complete game shutout on Sunday against the Twins. He only allowed 2 hits. This is the pitcher the Yankees signed, man. This is the guy that they need at the top of their rotation to come out there, every day and compete. And he gives the Yankees a great chance to win every start he pitches. Not shocked by it. He's a great pitcher, man. Great stuff. Last year he struggled a bit with the home run ball. Gave up. I think he might have been the league leader in giving up home runs. If he wasn't the league leader, he was right up there. But listen, he has dominant stuff. I never have a question about Cole. One thing about Cole, man. He's going to pitch every 5th day. He's going to go out there and give you 6 to 7. Might not always be nice. Might give up a few home runs here and there. But, you can depend on him for every 5th game. He'll be up there on the bump for you. So I'm not shocked that he's off to a great start this year.
It's interesting too, right? So, like, we see one stat there, 1 complete game shutout. Like, other than, like, Sandy Alcantara last year, we haven't really seen a lot of those being done recently with, most pitchers being out third time in the order, fourth time in the order.
Exactly.
You're not really seeing that. So it's cool to see that. It almost feels like a throwback. Like we don't really get many of those
No, you're right.
CGSOs anymore.
Yeah, you don't. It's a rarity for a guy to go 7, 8 inning. When you see that, you're like, oh shit, he's still in the game at this point. Like,
yeah.
It's just so weird to see it now because we're so, the way the rule. I mean, the changes with not wanting to get guys through the third time through the lineup. And listen, if a guy's dealing, a guy's dealing. Now I could understand if he's up there in pitch count. I get it. But even sometimes it's a little. What bothers me a lot of times where like 100 pitches is like, oh no.
Yeah.
You got to get him out. He can't be in there any further. Like, relax. It's only 100 pitches.
We've seen some instances, right? Like last year, World Series comes to mind. Christian Javier is throwing a no-hitter in the World Series. They took him out. Clayton Kershaw was the perfect game. Yep. He got taken out. So,
it's all you got to look at it. It's all based on. Now, let's say you got 100 pitches, right? But it was a struggle with those 100 pitches where I can get it. I can understand you getting a guy out because he's been struggling. But there's been guys that they'll throw 100 pitches and it's just a breeze. Why is it? You got to look at it from different standpoints,
Yeah.
But he's been dealing for them so far, man. And as a Yankee fan, I enjoy it.
All right. And then the second player of the week happens to be a pitcher. You mentioned off air how rare it is to have 2 players of the week be pitchers. So
yeah, we usually see whether it's 2 offensive players or you'll have 1 pitcher, 1 offensive, 1 hitter. It's not often where you see 2 pitchers get the player of the week. So Gallen's off to a great start for the Blue Jays, sorry. For the Diamondbacks.
Mm-hmm.
As well. 13 2/3 innings, no earned runs and 18 Ks. I mean, listen. I keep saying Toronto. What is it with me in Toronto? The Diamondbacks, they have a pretty solid pitching staff. Offensively, that's going to be a challenge for them. They're trying to build something up down there in Arizona. They re-signed their rookie Corbin Carroll. I shouldn't say re-signed them. They gave him a huge extension. They signed them early, like you said, Leon. They signed them early. They didn't wait.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a solid pitcher for them, man. So far, so good for them. Arizona, they're trying to fight. They're trying to get into that NL West race. So right now they lead the West at 10-7. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But so far, so good for him and the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, he's going to be a pitcher forever linked to Jazz Chisholm. They were traded from one another. Mm-hmm. He's looking good so far. It'll be interesting to see if he can keep it up. I mean, that strikeout rate looks real good.
Yeah.
But he's going to have to he's already done it against some weaker opponents for these two. So Miami, Milwaukee, whereas he got hit up a little bit against the Padres and the Dodgers.
Exactly.
Like. So we'll see. We'll see if he can do it.
So far, so good for those guys.
All right. So our subtopic of the week will be the Braves heating up. So the Braves right now on a 7-game winning streak. Do you think they can keep it up?
So I do think they can keep this up because I think, first of all, the NL as a whole, even though I know this year is a lot more, you play across the league now. You're not playing strictly NL and then like with a mix of maybe 2 or 3 American League teams. Now you're kind of playing the whole slate of teams. But I think in the NL, it's really top heavy as far as competition wise. I mean, you got the Braves, you got the Mets, you got Milwaukee. There was hopes of I still think they'll be okay. St. Louis, then you got the Dodgers and San Diego. So I mean, I think they can do it only from this standpoint. I think they can continue to ride this momentum because I think they're the best team first to win their division. Top to bottom, I think they have the best offense. With Acuna, Austin Riley, Matt Olson, I mean, I can keep going. There's so many guys in that lineup, and then their pitching staff is pretty good. It's not great. Freed just came back off an injury. You got Freed, you got Spencer Strider, you got the old man. What's the old man's name? Charlie Morton. So I think they'll be good there. Their bullpen kind of has always been a little suspect over the past couple of years, but I think they can keep this up, man. I think they have the talent. I think they got arguably, if not the best, one of the best players in the game, in Acuna. So I think this is something that they can continue throughout the season, man. I really do.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if they can keep it up. So they got, they're at the Padres, then they are home to Houston, then at Miami. No, sorry, they're at Houston, then at Miami after. So, the Padres are going to test them. Houston's going to definitely test them. And, Miami might not be the best team, but it's interdivision play. So, that's always going to be tough.
Yeah, of course.
And then they're going to play the Mets. So, a little bit of a tougher stretch coming up. So, we'll see how they kind of do. I mean, they are balanced, though.
Yeah, they're well balanced, man. They have everything you need. They got a plus 26 run differential. Mm-hmm. So that's tops in the National League. Well, that's second behind Milwaukee.
Right? Yeah,
it's second behind Milwaukee. But they, like you said, they're well balanced. They have everything you need to compete to win. In that division, I think they're the standout for that division. I think the Mets are right there behind them, not far off. But I just think the Braves are just a more complete team overall.
Yeah. That's pretty much right there with what we expect out of them.
Yeah, no, definitely expect it for them throughout the season.
All right. So moving forward, our last topic of the day, this day in baseball. So you want to talk a little bit about Jackie Robinson Day?
Yeah, so man, it was a beautiful thing that we seen this weekend on April 15th. Was Jackie Robinson Day across Major League Baseball. And obviously we all know, we see the guys in uniforms with the number 42. You have players with cleats and just commemorating Jackie Robinson and what he's meant to the game. Obviously being the first African-American to integrate baseball. It was just a great thing to see, man. I love watching this every year. The tributes that they give to him. The different cleats guys wear. But I just hope guys have an understanding of what he really meant, because I think a lot of times people just, they're with the in crowd and they, just do things just to do it. But I hope a lot of these players realize the significance he meant to the game and what he was able to accomplish, man.
Yeah, it's good to see him get his flowers every year. It's good to celebrate him and his life and his impact on culture and sport. It's cool to see that happening, and now it's becoming more and more in the fashion world and in the hat world that we see. Like it's becoming more chic for stores to use the patch and make tributes to him. So it's good that that's happening. It's good that every hat sold or every hat made, there's a royalty that goes to the Jackie Robinson Foundation.
Yeah,
I think there's only 3 players that occurs with. It's Clemente, Robinson, and Jeter.
Nice.
Get some sort of direct royalty. So that's cool and that's different. Of course. But yeah, it's like we get to, every year we get to revisit this. We get to celebrate his life and, know that me and you talked about this off air, but he may not have been like the most talented baseball player. He may not even have been the best baseball player in the Negro Leagues, but he was like kind of chosen and groomed for the position. He had, college, university educated, service time in the military, and then he was going to have to face some ugly stuff coming up and going through it, and he was not allowed to fight back. He had to turn the other cheek.
Exactly. So, that's why I think was such a huge thing, man, that like the stuff he had to deal with on a day-to-day basis. And I know we've seen parts of it, in the movie 42 that the late great Chadwick Boseman was in, that he played the role of Jackie Robinson, and how, it was just otherworldly thing that you would never think somebody would have to deal with, whether it was not being able to stay at certain hotels, or just the name calling, the anti-Semitic. I mean, just so much stuff that he had to deal with. I couldn't imagine having to deal with that, and then still having to go out there and play a game, play baseball. And he had to produce, because if he didn't, it would have been that much more, I guess, hatred, maybe, possibly. You know what I mean? Like, it's just unbearable to think about the stuff he had to do or deal with to be able to play a game. It's crazy, but it's something that is a part of history, obviously, and it's significant, and and it's just he was a great person to have to deal with that and continue to move forward.
Yeah, and I want to share one thing that you kind of found. I'm not sure if it's like a well-known fact or anything like that, but we wanted to talk a little bit about this. So do you want to talk about that, Kyle?
Yeah. So I this is something that I found this earlier today, just randomly on Instagram, and obviously I thought it was interesting, and I took a picture, sent it over to you. 2007, Ken Griffey Jr., who's another all-time great baseball player. In 2007, he called former Commissioner Buck Seeley to ask if he could wear the number 42 on Jackie Robinson Day. So obviously, you see there, Seeley called his wife, Rachel Robinson, and asked for her permission, and he came back with a better idea. Now everyone wears it. So this is something personally, and I'm a baseball fan. I've been since I was young. I've always recalled the Jackie Robinson Day from young, but I never even noticed the numbers, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I never noticed the number 42. And to know that Ken Griffey was the first one that, asked for the permission to wear the 42. I just always thought it was worn on Jackie Robinson Day. And it wasn't until 2007.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I mean, what you think about it, it's crazy. I thought it was always once Jackie Robinson Day started. I thought it was just, that everybody wore 42.
Yeah. No, it's a cool little factor, and thanks for sharing that. It's interesting too, because like now, for Roberto Clemente Day, if you're of Puerto Rican descent, you can choose to wear it if you want to. I mean, I think they should pay that same type of respect in the same, vein, because he's that for them.
Exactly.
But yeah, it is cool. And the number 42 wasn't always universally retired, right? Like I think Mo was the last guy.
Mo was the last guy to wear it.
Yeah,
because he before the rule was implemented that nobody could wear. He already was wearing.
Yeah,
and I believe he asked for permission from his wife Rachel Robinson if he can continue to wear it, and I believe she granted she gave the blessing, but he was the last active player to wear the number 42.
Yeah, so that's a cool little tidbit, cool little piece of history, and it's something that we take for granted.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's something I did not know. Honestly, I really didn't until I seen this. I was like, oh wow, that's interesting to know that just only in 2007, just for 15 years ago, 16 years ago, was when they decided to start wearing the number 42.
Yeah.
So it's a great thing that baseball continues to commemorate him, every year, and continues to talk about the impact he had on the game, the impact of life, and just everything around it.
Yeah, it's definitely something that sneaks up on us every day,
Yep. Yeah.
Like every year. I mean, like it's just it's something that we know that's happening. It's the first kind of major event after opening weekend.
Yep.
And soon we're gonna be looking forward to Memorial Day and then Mother's Day and so on and so forth. But the year's happening real quick. 10% of the season's already done.
That's it. 10%, 90% to go.
Yeah. So thank you everyone who's stuck with us. Make sure you guys are dropping a like on the video. But yeah. Any last words before we?
No, just thank you for everybody out there. People that joined us today. we'll get better. We'll come back next week with more stuff. And week 3, week 3 will be here next week.
Yeah. So for Kyle and Leon, we're signing out, guys. We'll be back next week. We out, guys. Stay fitted.